Okay, gang, really quick before we jump into the video. You may or may not know that I left academia a few years back for broadcasting, but teaching the next generation has and always will be on my heart. I've been broadcasting now through 3 election cycles, and I'm just sick at what the elites have done to our education system. So I decided to step up. My team and I have been working on this for well over a year now. I started a school, and I have absolutely massive plans to take it nationwide. The Worldview Institute of Entrepreneurship and Apprenticeship opens its first location in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on April 9th, and I want to invite you to the ribbon cutting. And I've built a whole amazing event around it, so I want you to come and join me at the Kingdom Builders Experience, April 9th through 11th. You'll get an exclusive invite to the school's ribbon cutting. You'll be invited to a special Scotch and Cigars meetup with yours truly. I'll be lecturing at the school, plus we're hosting a Business Makers Summit where education meets opportunity. Now, seats are limited. Click the link below to learn more, and I can't wait to see you there. We have simply never seen anything like this in our lifetimes. I've said it before, Trump is becoming the new standard bearer, not just for the Republican Party, but for the presidency itself. Once again, the world witnessed the undisputed colossus of American politics, all the while the defeated Democrats continue their epic meltdown and further implode into dust. Wait until you see the latest. It is going to make your day. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to celebrate the dawn of the new golden age that you made possible back on November the 5th, which, of course, is just the beginning. So if you want a front row seat on everything that's happening in the rise of a new conservative age, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive in here, what do you think you could do if you had the same insider trading information that Nancy Pelosi has, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Politicians like Pelosi have had access to insider trading secrets for decades now. They know exactly what stocks to buy and when to buy them. But guess what? You and I actually have access to that very same inside information. Thanks to a little-known SEC database, we can see what and when corporate CEOs are buying up in real time, and then we get to piggyback on their trades to gain the same advantage for ourselves. Gang, that's why you have got to click on the link below and sign up for a free online training with me and my good friend Ross Givens. It's this Thursday, March 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Ross is an insider trading expert whose recommendations have led to investment returns of over 200%. Some of it as high as nearly 1,500%. It's going to be an amazing free training online where you and I can learn how to trade with the same exact insider information that these politicians have, but legally and ethically. So don't wait. Seating registration is limited. Click on that link below right now. Register today, and I'll see you for an event that promises to change your life. President Trump was in my backyard, the great city of Philadelphia, over the weekend, where he made another one of his iconic entrances, this time at the Wells Fargo Center for the NCAA Men's Division Wrestling Championships. And he witnessed a stunning upset in the heavyweight division. Second Lieutenant Wyatt Hendrickson, aptly nicknamed Captain America, pulled off what's being called the biggest upset in NCAA wrestling history, defeating Minnesota's heavily favored Gable Stevenson, a two-time national champion and Olympic gold medalist who was supposed to be, frankly, unbeatable. But it's what Second Lieutenant Hendrickson did next that inspired a nation.
Captain America. Captain America.
Rob, I can't believe it.
My jaw's on the floor.
He did it.
Hey. Shut up. Shut up. Everybody shut up. Shut up, Rob.
I'm glad that he was the last match.
That's what the last match supposed
That's
to
the
be.
last match.
That's what a main event
That's
looks
what
like.
it should look like. That's a
what
main event.
looks like. Shut up.
Seriously, has there ever been a president with so many astonishing, iconic moments as this man? I can't even imagine a remote comparison. I mean, guys, look at the latest polls coming out for this man's policies. Look at this. This is from the Washington Post, of all places. You ready for this? A new Washington Post Ipsos poll found that 89% of voters support deporting illegal migrants accused of violent crimes. 89%. I'm assuming the other 11% are illegal migrants accused of violent crimes. 62% said the same for those accused of nonviolent crimes, such as shoplifting. And look at this. This is from the Democracy Institute. Support for Doge, 61%. 61%. After all the Democrat rallies and their hysterics about Elon Musk and their cringeworthy songs, whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? After all of that, 61% still support Doge. The numbers are so overwhelming, even CNN can't deny it.
63%, according to the latest Fox News poll, say that they favor deporting those immigrants. So that's a pretty high number. Can you square that with what we just heard from Priscilla's reporting?
Yeah, I think that obviously the president has kind of blanketed the airwaves with saying that all of these people deported are criminals. And given the fact that we, reporters like Priscilla, we have very limited information to who exactly has been deported. The government has not handed over names. I know CBS got a hold of a list of names, but that hasn't been provided to those who are asking for who was actually deported.
I mean, it's so hilarious. It is so hilarious. The super majority of the nation supports this stuff. It's so massive that they can't deny it, even in the midst of panels trying to. Even in the midst of panels slamming Trump and his policies, they still have no choice when it comes to actually reporting the actual numbers. They've got no choice but to admit the massive support for Trump's policies, all as they do their best to try to spin that support in their favor. And of course, you notice, bottom line, these political illiterates are blaming you. You support you. Trump's policies have such overwhelming support because you don't actually understand them. You don't actually know what's really happening. I mean, there's no getting around this. As you saw with your own eyes, you heard with your own ears, Trump is redefining American politics like never before with an America First agenda that is garnering super majority support. By contrast, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders had a complete meltdown on live television when asked about AOC and New York's Senate race. Take a look at this.
A whole lot of good people. Alexandria is extraordinary. I am so impressed by her work in Congress and she inspires young people all over the country.
Would you like to see her joining the Senate?
Right now, we have, as I said, just a whole lot of people in the Congress. Okay, Jonathan, thanks.
Wait, I got one more. This is important.
No, I asked you.
Okay.
You want to do nonsense, do nonsense. I don't want to talk about inside the Beltway stuff. I got 32,000 people.
I was just asking you about AOC because she was out there with you.
No, fine, but I don't want to talk about this. What was the last question?
I was just going to ask you one more question about you. I mean, that's all. I was literally your last.
What is your question?
Well, I mean, it's easier to. I mean, I want to ask you about your future. This is the biggest crowd. You said you ran for president twice. This is the biggest crowd you've ever seen.
Yeah, that was Sanders absolutely flipping out over John Carl raising a question about AOC. Of course, many Democrats are encouraging AOC to challenge Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer for his Senate seat as retribution against him voting to end debate on the continuing resolution to fund the government for the next 6 months. Sanders obviously knew that and did not want to go on record one way or the other on the issue. And I think that little meltdown revealed what's really going on here with Sanders and AOC and their silly little clown tour through swing states. I think David Marcus is right, David Marcus of Fox News. He's calling this comedy tour of Sanders and AOC nothing more than a sign of far-left desperation. He asked the simple question, why are these two on the road right now? The midterms are literally 19 months away. That's an eternity in politics. Why would these two Democrats, both in comfortably safe Democrat seats, spend tens of millions of dollars and untold man hours on this traveling circus, which we now know, by the way, is bringing the crowds with them? The crowds are going from event to event to event. It's all AstroTurf. They're professional crowds, basically, when all's said and done. And the answer to this, simply put, is that they're confronting a 5-alarm emergency. That 5-alarm fire is exactly what we just saw in those polls. The supermajority of Americans are rejecting the Democrats' brand of far-left progressivism. Now, AOC and Sanders want you to think that the real emergency is Trump and the oligarchs that are taking over Washington. But the real emergency, as this article on Fox argues, is that Sanders and AOC are doing everything they possibly can to try to maintain the progressive left's grip on the Democrat Party. The progressive left is being rejected everywhere. This is exactly why Chuck Schumer ended up selling him down the river, as it were, in the CR vote. He knows they've got no power. And so this tour is for Sanders and AOC to keep the progressive left's power in the Democrat Party. It's to show off, hey, we're the ones who attract crowds, even though those crowds are basically being paid. So this is why Sanders got so freaked out over this question. He and AOC are trying to hold a party together that looks like it's on the brink of absolutely shattering. And then this ABC News guy, John Carl, tries to get Sanders to pick a fight with Schumer. So that's why Sanders had the meltdown. The far left is so freaking unpopular right now that the last thing that Sanders needed was to pick a fight with Democrat leadership like Chuck Schumer. In other words, it's all evidence that the Democrats are on the brink of shattering. And they're on the brink of shattering precisely because, as we pointed out time and time again, they're caught in this 80-20 doom loop. When it comes to the southern border, they side with open borders over and against border security. When it comes to mass deportations, they side with illegal migrant gang members over their victims. When it comes to female sports, they side with trans athletes over women. When it comes to DOJ and eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse, they side with bureaucrats over taxpayers. That's the 80-20 doom loop. You literally could not script a more self-defeating opponent than what the Democrats have become right now. And this constant fighting of losing battles is tearing the party apart. Look at this from Politico. It's an article in a brand new poll from Quinnipiac, and it shows that for the first time ever, congressional Democrats are now underwater with their own voters. So while congressional Republicans are nearing an all-time high in terms of approval from their own voters, congressional Democrats have plummeted. Their support has plummeted. And again, to reiterate, this collapse in support is with their own Democrat base. Just 40% of Democrats approve of their party's leadership. That's down from 75% approval from this time last year. The key here is that Democrat voters historically support their party at far higher levels than Republican voters. Republican voters generally have obviously a love-hate relationship with their Republican leadership, largely because we don't like government in general, right? We want politics to leave us alone. Whereas, as Rush always used to say, the government is the Democrats' God. And so they're usually all in with their high priesthood, their leadership. Not anymore. And so this Politico article is saying all the indicators suggest that the Democrat Party is on the verge of a massive revolt among their own voters. In other words, their voters aren't voting against Trump and the Republicans. The Democrats' voters are voting against Democrats. By contrast, Republican voters are absolutely fired up. They're loving it. They love Trump. They love the congressional Republicans because now they're finally delivering on the MAGA agenda, and they're being rewarded with record high support among their base. This is emphatically not how you want to go into the midterms if you're a Democrat. You do not want to go into the midterms as a fractured party, all the while the Republicans are more united and fired up than ever before. And you saw it over the weekend. You saw that astonishing display of patriotism from athlete and fan alike. Once again, Trump is shaping up to be the standard bearer, not just of the Republican Party, but of the presidency and indeed the politics of the entire nation as well. You may or may not know that I left academia a few years back for broadcasting, but teaching the next generation has and always will be on my heart. I've been broadcasting now through 3 election cycles, and I'm just sick at what the elites have done to our education system. So I decided to step up. My team and I have been working on this for well over a year now. I started a school, and I have absolutely massive plans to take it nationwide. The Worldview Institute of Entrepreneurship and Apprenticeship opens its first location in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on April 9th, and I want to invite you to the ribbon cutting. And I built a whole amazing event around it, so I want you to come and join me at the Kingdom Builders Experience, April 9th through 11th. You'll get an exclusive invite to the school's ribbon cutting. You'll be invited to a special Scotch and Cigars meetup with yours truly. I'll be lecturing at the school, plus we're hosting a Business Makers Summit where education meets opportunity. Now, seats are limited. Click the link below to learn more, and I can't wait to see you there.